Too busy.
My hairdresser went to Australia, and I don't want to just trust anyone because he's coming off soon. But when it comes off,
what do you mean coming off? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna have it cut shorter. But the thing is, I'm gonna have a haircut that most probably I had 4 years ago, but now most people have, and they think's fucking. And I'll look like.
Are you talking about you was once a kind of a trendsetter? Is that what you're saying? But you're not following. When you turn up with a haircut like everyone else, you just want it to be known that you had that haircut 4 years ago.
Well, something like that.
Yeah. I would have said exactly the same thing. Yeah. Absolutely, I have no issue with that.
Something like that.
So I've never seen.
It's always been you can't. Yeah.
I've never seen you with hair anything other than what you've got. I mean, I know it's a bit long, but I don't know if I'm sure. It's like Stu turning up without a beard.
Well, he did weird. That. Oh, fucking that's horrible.
It's like
he looked like Penfold off Danger Mouse. If you remember that. It's like a little round. All of a sudden, the beard had hidden this fucking little chubby face.
It's like, I don't know.
It's like you. What are you doing? Your top button.
Oh, I'm gonna be able to do.
But seriously, where's mine of these?
I haven't got anything for you, Matt.
Why not?
It's not my job for you to come prepared to the podcast. If you don't have these,
can't you help prepare me? Given that we're like
and that you
friends,
and you have no access to these documents.
I just feel that I'm walking slightly in the dark into something, and I'm not prepared.
I'll tell you what, you don't need these, but we can share that. How about that?
All right. Or Long Ball Street intro.
Hit points.
Is this because I said to you the other day that we fucking keep forgetting to say things like subscribe?
We did a podcast last week, didn't we? And we missed a few bits. So that was a good podcast. How do you feel James did?
I think it was good. You two are amazing. I like you two. I think you have a great chemistry.
Yeah, well, do you remember? We spend 50 to 60 hours a week together all the time. So there is a little bit of that.
Do you ever argue?
We had one argument once. I can't go into it on the plot. No, I can't because it was about something really political, and I don't want to air my views on it.
Right. Okay.
But I'll tell you after.
Right.
But it wasn't really an argument. He quickly bowed down.
He quickly bowed.
Yeah.
I can imagine. James bows for no man.
I don't know why he bows. You know, he's a pretty guy. That's what I'd say.
Okay. I can't imagine you two arguing. Me and James argue. Like he argues with me. I think he.
That's your way.
He thinks that. I think he thinks sometimes that fucking he employs me and that it's like an inconvenience when I ask him. When I ask him to do anything, he's like, crying out loud, mate. What why are you asking me that? I'm like, well, just.
I think. I mean. I think it's part of. You get your point across in a forthright way, not by arguing. Just you're quite forthright. Whereas I think people concede more than you.
People concede.
I think people naturally concede more than you would.
Yeah.
And you don't concede.
Yeah.
It's
a
submit.
Weird
one. You submit the people.
I submit them like where.
Yeah, you don't concede. You submit them.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm joking.
I think it's I think it's one of them. It's such a mad, crazy year that I don't always think that I've got too much stuff in my head and not enough time, you know. But so sometimes I do come across badly, and I apologise for that.
I love you, Matt.
To everyone else.
I love you.
We argued.
No.
Why are we talking about arguing?
I would never argue with you. Do you know what episode
we've got this.
Do you know what the episode is?
No.
I don't either. It's about 35 or something. 35 episodes. That's pretty
crazy.
Good.
We've done most of them together. We've had a couple of weeks. Obviously, last week was off.
You moved. All good? Happy?
Yeah, getting there. Ty hates me. She's at that stage of pregnancy. Any minute now, we're going to have this child.
Nothing to do with you, completely to do with the pregnancy?
Well, she lost her car keys the other day. Sorry, she lost her car keys the other day. My fault.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And do you remember someone? I put my car up for sale, and someone run into the back of it.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, and we went and got that repaired. Still not sold the damn car, but that was brilliant. We parked up in her car the other day. Entire side of it. Someone's like scratched along the side of it.
Oh my god!
I know. So we had that, and then I trod in dog shit, both feet.
Both.
Yeah. And while we're driving, we're like, what? Just after that, what a terrible half hour. So just after that, we're driving, like, what is that smell?
Oh,
seriously, what is that smell? And I'm like, oh, for God, it's like, and after a bit, I'm like, someone must have strode in shit or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was me, both feet.
Oh, man.
My Reebok Classics as well. I was
hell.
devastated. So it's been a trying period, but Ty's now, like, her whole body's sore.
Yeah, bless her, yeah.
She gets pins and needles in this hand. She has that foot swollen.
Aye.
She's about to needs to go to the toilet every 30 minutes. She can't sleep at night. So
she's about to push a whole human being out of her body.
The prodigal daughter.
That's right. That's good. I mean, look, let's kind of alleviate some of your stresses and let's talk a bit about football.
That would be lovely, mate.
And you know what? Later in the show,
we'll
talk a bit about boxing as well. How about that?
I love that.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Thanks, Flav.
Remember,
I feel better now.
If you're listening to this, you can watch the whole podcast on our Long Ball Street YouTube channel.
Flav has mentioned that. It's very unusual. Well done, Flav.
And if you got a tick, you can also watch the best bit that we consider the best bit of the podcast on the normal Ball Street channel as well.
Yeah, or the bit that probably might get the most views because we're not saying that
behind the curtain here.
But we're not saying that in a way. Oh God, we're not viewed whores, if there's such a thing.
Yeah, no, there are.
You are a bit, aren't you?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but
I never used to before coming here.
No, but you have to take it into account, don't you? And I think that we have probably with this podcast now we started putting bits of it on YouTube. You do have to think about, all right, what are you actually putting up there and showing people? Because whilst we're not necessarily view whores, what we don't want to do is decimate our numbers. There's the whole algorithm with YouTube, so we have to be conscious. We don't put the whole thing up on that channel now. There's even the
don't know what that is.
What was that noise?
I think it might have been the body we thought was dead.
Yeah. But we got the full podcast. What body is that? This is going badly.
Sorry.
No, we've put the whole podcast up on a new channel called the Long Ball Street. We put a segment of it up on the Ball Street channel.
Yes.
And that bit is likely to be Everton and Liverpool in it this week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I mean, not necessarily previewing the game. We'll come on to this, but not previewing the game. But you know what? It's about talking about their rivalry because it's an interesting dynamic they've got up there in Merseyside.
It is. Do you know what I'm actually going to do whilst you're talking?
What?
I'm just going to text Kathy because I've noticed that we need to do the Flav nose.
Yeah, but
I know, but we're going to get her to bring that. Oh, we don't need it. Is this going to be on the telly?
It is going to be on the telly, but people have seen it. They'll know. Flav nose T-shirt. You get to win it. There's only 2 in the world, and we'll bring it down. We'll get Kath to come down and bring it.
Yeah.
Don't let her know that we're filming because she won't come on. She's a bit phobic of the camera, isn't she?
She is.
So just don't tell her.
I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Well, if we hear the door go, let's actually just sit back.
Yeah.
In fact, what I'll do is I'll stand up like this.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, and I'll go, we're not on, Kath. Just sit down for me. We're going to talk to you, and then we'll ask you some questions, and then she'll be on it. That'll be a mix.
Is that big? Is that cruel?
It's cruel.
But you're the boss. You do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about, you got to be a good man, you've got to lead. No, you don't. If you
just do what you
want.
If
it's your business, you can do exactly what you want.
Trump does what he wants, and he became the president.
He's my role model. He's not.
No,
I can't
don't say that.
He's not my role model whatsoever.
That
was what we call in the podcast game a joke.
So can we go on to?
We will. When Kathy comes down, we'll then do the bit about. So
you want a pad? You want a pad until then?
What's pad?
Padding.
Oh, is that? Yeah.
I knew that. That's a technical term.
I know. I was just checking that Craig knew.
Yeah.
Craig, did you know that?
Yeah.
Craig, how are you feeling? Chelsea 9 on the bounce.
Mate, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to.
You're not being tricked. You're not being tricked.
What do you want?
What do you want?
I've never known. Why do you work in the meeting?
Kathy's here.
Kathy, how you doing? You alright? Come in, Kath. No, we're not doing it. We've just been chatting. We're going to do it in a minute. We're just bringing it here. In fact, sit down a minute because we want to talk. No, Kathy, just
Kathy, that's your boss talking.
Kathy, he's not, I am your father. That's the wrong thing. So that's it. No
one saw
Kathy, we're not even started yet.
She knows you. That's the thing. But that's a good thing, so we can move on to football.
Okay.
All right, so this week, big news came out. 5 former FA executives written to the FA. Oh, this is the T-shirt. Shit, let's see that first. So you can win this T-shirt if you want to. There's only 2 in the world, and all you have to do.
Shall we do this in line with the bit about the Everton and Liverpool? Shall we just move it to there, and then it can be on there? We'll do it after that.
All right.
And then it can be a part of that, yeah?
All right, let's do that.
Done.
We'll
just leave it there as a decoration because it's beautiful.
It's decoration, yeah, with the bottle of water, such class. All right, so FA reform, big news in this week. 5 former FA executives have written to the FA saying that the governing body is outdated, held back by elderly white men, unable to counter the power of the Premier League. What's your initial feeling about that? How do you feel about the FA generally?
News flash, we've landed on the moon as well.
What?
We've landed on the... Of course, we know this. When
did we land on the moon?
We're actually, that's Pat, by the way.
We never landed
Pat, just to say hello, because you've ruined it now. You've ruined it. Pat's busy working.
What landed on the moon? What the fuck?
Well, obviously, we've landed on the moon years ago. I mean, conspiracy.
Did we though?
Well, exactly. But conspiracy theories aside,
6 feet of steel would take to withhold the pressure to leave the atmosphere and land on the moon. That's fact. That is.
I don't disagree with you.
Internet says.
You know, I don't disagree with you about that.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, what you've just said there about the FA, it's like, hello, obviously. We know, it's obvious. That's what I meant by you've landed on the moon. I think it's like a reference to a Dumb and Dumber movie.
An obvious thing.
Yeah, like Dumb and... No, I don't know.
I get it.
Okay.
So essentially what they've done, they've asked for the FA, they've asked for the government to intervene, basically. So, I mean, there's some points here that they make and the reason why it's fucked at the moment. So the Premier League's financial power has a knock-on effect right through the football pyramid.
Sorry, Flav. I just want you to frame this for me, right?
Right.
Who's saying this? Where's this come from?
These are
we've spoke about this kind of stuff, and we have been talking about reform. We've been talking about the fact that we think that the FA and these kind of bodies are out of touch.
Yeah.
And we've also, I mean, this is business as well. You know, we're in an area of social, video, everything's changing, technology's changing. This, I'm holding up my mobile phone, is the new TV. The TV's God knows what, the radio or something like that now. The world's changing massively, but unfortunately there's lots of people that are actually in the influential positions, the ones that sit at the top of these pyramids, corporate pyramids, these institutional pyramids, and guess what? They've been living the easy life for years. They're out of touch. They're scared of change because you know what? They're happy with how they are. Yeah. They're happy with how it is. So we've been talking about this from the FA, if you listen back to all our podcasts. So, completely agree with this. So it's clearly the case, but how's it out? How are they admitting this?
You got the chairman, Treisman, you got chairman Bernstein and Greg Dyke, all former chairman of the FA, and what they wanted to change. They wanted to change the FA. They wanted to do things.
So they've been talking to each other.
Cronies around them haven't allowed them.
So what you're saying, right, is that some former heads of the FA that have clearly been fighting against corporate red tape,
or at least saying that,
and resistance from the ways of the old world and people that don't like things to be different anymore. The types of people that sit there and try and push down fan media and all this stuff, right? That this whole elite, because they don't understand it. So some of these guys have actually been talking to each other, sharing their frustrations, and have decided to try and create change by outing what's actually going on there.
Yeah, they're almost like 5 whistleblowers. So what they've done.
That's good.
I mean, look. Just so that people are aware, this is the demographic of the FA board. It's made up of 122 members. 12 of them are over 80 years old. 92 are over the age of 60. 8 are women.
So 122 people, 12 are over 80, 92 are over 60.
8 are women.
That's 104 are over the age of 60.
8 are women, and only 4 from ethnic minority backgrounds. Now, why that's important? Because this board is supposed to be representative of football throughout the country.
Yeah. It's not.
So how can it be? How can they understand the plight of a young man who's travelled from another country, who's trying to make his way in football? How is that possible? How can they fully understand the plight of the women's game if there's only 8 women in 122? And how many of those 120 have any real power? Probably very few.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. That's one of the issues.
So how are these people appointed? Sorry, do you know that?
I don't know that. I don't know. No. I mean, they're part of a council, so I'd imagine they'd have to be elected.
Right. Okay. Or it might be one of the things where you somehow. I mean, I don't know that, so I'm not going to speculate. Yeah. People will be going, well, you don't know. but
so these are the 5 points that.
How are these people going to be helping the game grow and helping the game deal with the diversity, with the cultural evolution of society?
Yeah, excellent.
These people holding us back.
Well, hasn't I might be being a bit stereotypical here, right? Or a little bit presumptive. But how can these 12 over 80s understand the advent of digital media and its impact in football? You wouldn't expect them to.
There's people that work in digital media that don't get it. There's young people that kind of are able to connect the dots. So how the hell are these 12 people over 80? No disrespect to them.
You wouldn't expect them to.
You know, you wouldn't. It's madness.
Okay.
So it's actually 104 over 60.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. That's like, I was trying to explain Ball Street to my dad, who's over 60. and he was like, what the hell? And I had to then try and put it all in terms to him, because he owned a garage. He was a mechanic. He used to be a rally driver, actually, my dad.
Shut up.
He was on grandstanding, like, I don't know, 1975 or something.
What, you're living as a rally driver?
Well, there wasn't, we're talking about 1975. It's not like there was loads of money. It's not like rally driving's super, it's not like they're rock stars now, really, are they, in comparison to other sports. So back in 1975, there certainly wasn't much money in it.
It was like Huddersfield's Colin McRae.
Like that, yeah. He was like Wakefield's Colin McRae, but he raced against people like Mika Hakkinen, Niki Lauda, some famous people, and he was
that's incredible.
And he was on like the in-car camera at times on Grandstand. So I don't know if you, back when I was a kid, you'd watch Grandstand and they'd always just have the in-car camera. It's not like it is now.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, so he used to do that, but his car, he would drive home in that afterwards, like the top few in the sport. They'd have teams, they'd have spare vehicles and that kind of thing. Yeah. My dad would drive home in that car after racing it, and sometimes rolling it and whatever.
That's cool.
But anyway, I was explaining it, going off point a little bit, but I was explaining it to him, and we had a service station with that, and I was saying it's almost like the way the world is at the moment and how fast it's progressing, it's like dog years. So in his terms, in terms of the garage, it's like one day you leave work, you come in the next day, and there's 6 other garages that are actually all next to yours, and all the prices are different, and actually all of a sudden cars and petrol engines just stop, and now all of a sudden it's nitro juice, which is something that you actually don't have, but everyone kind of wants it. That's how dynamic the marketplace is moving. So to navigate change and to keep moving, it's very difficult. And I think it's hard for, like, we are a business that's social, that's digital, that's video first, mobile first. So, and it's difficult for us to keep pace, interpret, understand, and apply learnings. So how these people in the FA are able to get all this stuff? They don't. They just must turn up every now and again to some kind of thing where they meet the manager, they shake his hand, they have some kind of raffle, because I imagine people at that age love a raffle. You know what I mean? And one of them goes on with a Roy Hodgson, signed badger or something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
They are living in a world that's completely far removed from all the kids that are growing up playing this game, all the young kids that have aspirations, and all the players that play for England. There's young guys that play for England. How are these people supposed to relate to him? How is the manager that these people think's fit for the job supposed to relate to these guys? That's why we had bloody Roy Hodgson in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole thing's been a mess for a while.
Well, so the major issue remedy is they claim that the FA the claim is that the FA can't reform. It can't self-reform. There's so much cronyism. There's so much lack of understanding that it's impossible.
And they must be so like they say, you can't see the wood for the trees.
Yeah.
Even if they were really wanting change, because a lot of times, like I've done a bit of what do you call it, like change management within businesses, where you're trying to evolve and change. Like when I was at TalkSport magazine, one of the big things I did there was bring in Sport magazine.
That's right.
Sport magazine.
Do, yeah.
And we had to then bring that into our business. We had to change because TalkSport had a certain perception and audience, and then all of a sudden Sport magazine had a very different perception and a different range.
So how did you go about doing that? That is interesting.
Well, yeah, so at that point in time, I remember, because the people that were in charge of TalkSport, they saw it a bit like that, and they were like, amazing, let's buy Sport magazine. What we'll do is we'll slowly change it, because it's called Sport and TalkSport's called Sport. We'll slowly change it, so instead of a red logo, we'll make it yellow, and then slowly we'll start to introduce TalkSport to it, so it becomes TalkSport mag. And it's just like, what are you talking about? You've got a magazine here, right, that's considered to be upmarket. You've got a radio station that's considered to be down market. 80% of the brands that are working with this magazine, we're not working with at TalkSport. So that Sport magazine doesn't need to change. We need to change. Yeah. So we need to create a neutral body that's the experts on sport media, rather than you change Sport magazine to become TalkSport magazine. Yeah. So actually, because you're just going to put off people. Yeah. So you actually need to be able to go and speak to advertisers and say, oh look, I'm with Sport Magazine and you're Jaguar, who've never spent with TalkSport, you're Jaguar. Did you not realise that actually TalkSport's audience is a little bit more ABC1 than you might have thought? So that I thought that we needed to change, first of all, rather than sport becomes TalkSport Magazine. But then the other thing is you've got to integrate people within a business, you've got to integrate people within a cell, and that doesn't just happen overnight. So what you kind of need to do is you need to go out there with a probably a period of stakeholder consultation. So you need to so what that means is you probably need to have a series of conversations with people that are existing within TalkSport, existing within Sport Magazine. From that you need to then ascertain some common themes, some common learnings, the kind of things that people are looking for. Then what you've probably got to do is go back to them, but then address them publicly and say, these are some of the things that you all want, and then you've got to give them a couple of quick wins. So if they're all kind of saying, we're worried about, I don't know, bonuses, or we're worried about this, or we're worried about that, you know, the kind of things that employees talk about, then you've got to go and go, we've listened to you and this is now the solution. So it's a quick win, then people start to get behind that, and then you probably take it from there.
No, but in terms, how did that...
So all I'm saying is, so the point to then connect it to the FA...
One more question about that, if that's all right.
Yeah.
How did that go? That once, so there's the solution, there's the ideas behind why it's a good idea. How hard was it to actually convince people that what you were saying was the right idea, or was it easy?
So it was I won't say it took convincing, but I had to first of all convince the management team at TalkSport/UTV that was actually the thing that needed to happen. So we needed to create an entity that sat above TalkSport and Sport Magazine. So they were brands that this trade-facing company represented, because I then thought you could then make other acquisitions that could all fit under this sports portfolio. So once they were convinced, we then just had to create an identity that they were happy with. I wanted it to be something cool, but it kind of ended up being UTV pitch because it was UTV. So we then created just some artwork that kind of, you know, would be then consistent across everything, and you know, so then people would have these things on their business cards and so on. And then we created certain properties that would be sold across both magazines.
And how long did this take from when Sport was bought to actually getting it how you think it, as close to your ideal way of it being run?
Do you know what?
Approximately.
I can't remember, but it wasn't actually that long. No, it was less than a year. And we had some good wins. We got EA Sports and FIFA to do a cover art for Sport Magazine. And like no betting brands had ever been in Sports Magazine. We were able to because what you have with print versus radio. With radio, you could actually go, right, let's do this, go downstairs, give it to Alan Brazil or Adrian Durham or wherever it was, and it can go live because you can deliver that verbally in a live kind of medium. But with print, you submit it, I forget, but it was something like you submit it on a Tuesday, it then goes to the printers, and then it's ready for distribution on Friday. So there's certain things that you have to plan with your editorial delivery of that, because if you're talking about Wednesday's Champions League game and you get to print on Tuesday, you don't know the results on Friday, you'd look stupid. So the whole editorial of that has to be in line with the production. So it made betting, for example, a little bit more difficult, because bettors, gamblers typically are kind of interested in talking about odds. So you had to kind of, you had to work with all, but it was a success. Yeah, it was good.
It was good, and it sounds like quite a lot of thought and strategy goes into it. And ultimately, the most important thing is that people had to buy into what your vision was at that time. You had to get them to buy in.
Yeah.
So to bring it back to this, imagine how difficult it would be to get people to buy in a system that doesn't have any kind of new thought or new idea.
Exactly.
And these are the 5 issues.
Because people are resistant to that change. You've got to have a big appetite for it, and people have got to be. The management of the company is a really, like the leadership, the decision making is a key part of it.
Yeah.
Because that can completely undermine it. And to be honest, leadership, I think, and fucking I don't think I do it particularly well here, but leadership is pretty much, I would say 9 out of 10 businesses have got bad leadership.
Really?
So the person at the top needs to be really focused on an outcome, a great result. So I would expect that at the FA that's impossible.
Yeah.
So they've got to go outside of that organisation to create that pressure.
So that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're going to the government They're asking for the government to interfere. In fact, the only way this can be fixed, this is according to Greg Dyke, this is according to Bernstein, according to Treisman, the only way that this can be fixed, because the FA is so steeped in cronyism and counterproductive kind of mechanisms and structure, that the government have to interfere. They have to interfere.
So hang on a minute, right? What you're telling me is that they want help, they want reform, so they've gone to the government.
Yeah.
That's because let's face it, the government they're on top of everything.
Yeah.
Their shit's tight. You know, they are in complete control.
Yeah.
What's that like? What's the equivalent of that?
The equivalent.
That's like going to Craig and asking him how to vlog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Craig, that's like going to Kathy and asking her how to Facebook Live.
Yeah.
She ain't the person to ask for that because she doesn't. Like Craig's not. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
What? I mean, I get that. I get the problem is, Matt, right? Is if they're not capable of it, the only entity that can do it is the government, because they are within their. Yeah, they're within their. They have the potential power to force the FA to change.
They have a stage.
The problem is with that. Jesus. The problem is with that, right?
Yeah, it's stressing me out.
Is what precedent does that set? Because politics and football shouldn't mix, and the actual the FIFA has taken action against the government interfering in affairs of football before, which has prevented it. Football's world governing body has rules stating that associations must be independent and avoid any form of political interference, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, in 1978, there was a junta in Argentina, a dictatorship, which had killed 30,000 people. Yeah. Right? And they used the World Cup to get the world's attention away from what was going on in the streets and towards the tournament. Yeah. So while Argentina were winning that competition, through a couple of dodgy results, which they probably, they needed to beat Peru by 4 goals and they scored 6. Right. Peru just folded. They were managed to win this World Cup and take all attention away from the horrendous things that were going on in the country. And that's the danger. That's the precedent that you're setting by allowing politics to get involved. Right. But then what do? Do you just persist with this system that isn't working? Just to finish, just quickly, the Premier League's financial power has a knock-on effect right through the football pyramid. So they're saying that the FA currently is bending over for the Premier League constantly.
Yeah,
the FA is
completely. The whole game is geared up to produce a Premier League that's a great product to export, which generates tons and tons of cash, and ultimately the England team has been devalued to the point of no one cares about it. Like we said the other day, probably the only people that care about it is the sponsors. Yeah, our good friends and good people at Vauxhall. They're probably the ones that actually genuinely care about it. Yeah, the FA clearly don't. They're not trying to create.
Even if they did, they're not. They've got no power. They can't do anything.
No, because the whole thing's like these people are just given raffles. Yeah. These people are just it's like the opium. You can imagine them all just kind of asleep there. The Premier League is just kind of almost putting in some kind of like gas that puts them to sleep. So they're all just asleep at the wheel whilst they're just kind of coining it in. Yeah, cool. Let's sell this over there. Let's sell these rights over there. Let's create this powerful like thing. And the bloody these old people are asleep at the wheel.
Can you imagine in this? So I'm in this boardroom. Right.
What now?
I'm an old boy. Okay. I'm an old boy, and you're another old boy.
Okay.
And he's like,
no, I'm not. I'm just a bit sleepy. I want to be a god.
Yeah. Well, no, don't sleep because it's not going to work.
Okay.
So
an old person wakes up.
So fucking Greg Dyke, he's been ringing me up again, hasn't he?
Greg, I don't remember Greg. Is that my nephew?
Oh, he's the chairman.
So I'm trying to be an old person.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. He's the chairman.
Greg.
He reckons that we should.
Young fella.
Yeah, we should challenge the Premier League.
To what?
The Premier League apparently they've got too much power.
A tombola.
They're too much power, and they're spoiling the sport. They're forcing us to give them millions of pounds a year instead of funding grassroots football. But can you really be bothered? I mean,
I'm going to bingo later.
And I'm going to Guernsey.
Yeah, Guernsey. Oh,
Good
God.
great
Can you
card.
get me a postcard
Cool.
and do some lovely toffee?
I'll bring you some toffee back.
Awesome.
Some premium toffee.
Let's go back to sleep.
Yeah, essentially that's
the conversation. Can you be bothered? No.
So, but I mean, look, we're not going to be able to answer this, and we've got to move on. But we're not going to be able to answer whether or not, whether or not, what you.
I'm just saying that, like, I'm sorry, but the government, okay, politics is out of date. Let me just say that again. Politics is out of date. This culture, the way that people act, the way that young people act is moving at a faster rate of evolution than it ever has.
Yep.
You think about it. Trends come and go now so fast. Language comes and goes so fast. So the political system, however, getting laws passed, the whole electoral process, the whole way that councils, the bureaucratic ways that paperwork takes and how decisions get made is out of sync with society. In society and young people, in this world of the mobile, what we I should never move that again. Other people, what we now expect, right, is to be able to go on your phone, sit there like that, and a pizza turn up at your door. You expect to go on your phone, swipe right a few times, and a hookup arrives at your door. This is the world where this mobile phone and everything happens instantly. Now, I've just moved house, so I'm speaking to the DVLA, right? And I've just gone, yeah, all right, guys, I've moved house. Can you change my... Ty did it for me, actually. Can you change my driver's license or my ID?
Quite straightforward.
Ty did it. Brilliant. Yeah, cool. Now, nice one. Now I'm like, right, okay, well, I'm also, because I've moved house, my vehicle, can you just change it over so my vehicle logbook is registered for this house? No, sorry. It's like, yeah, but we've just sent you everything. Sorry, you need to actually go out. We need to send you a form. You need to fill in this form. You need to send it back to us. I'm like, yeah, but we've just done this for my thing. It's a different department. So
just ring them up, walk upstairs, sort it out.
Exactly. But so that's what I'm saying. So the way that politics, the way that the council, the way that the government, the way that the institutions work, right, is very, very fucking slow. Because these systems were put in place years ago, right? And these people that work in these places, they don't give a fuck. They don't. They just want life to be the same because they've got a pension and they've got the eye on. So that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is I love Greg Dyke and the famous five, the FA five, getting together and pointing out the fact that there's a problem here. We need to organise around that. However, the government ain't going to get it done.
No, I think as well as that is the precedent it sets is dangerous.
Yeah. However, right, I'm for fucking change, right? This is the kind of thing that we should be fucking taking on. I don't mean Ball Street podcast. I mean fans, yeah. Because together we have the power, you know what I mean? And collective, you think about it, what we're a business, so we're making a media company out of passionate fans that have got something to say, that understand social media, that are building communities around them, around their shared passions, and that when we employ all that stuff together, we're able to do amazing things. We're able to generate trends. We're able to generate views. We actually can take items and raise that to the top of the agenda. Now, I'm not saying we can sit here and storm City Hall, going, you know what I mean, FA out and banging on the windows and interrupting bingo. Yeah. I'm not saying we can do all that stuff.
We should.
But maybe we should, because the government, oh my God, can you just imagine the hours that they'll spend, because it's the bloody government deliberating over this stuff, it'll ruin it. It does need change. The whole of football needs restructuring for me. I'd love to do it, but I'm just not sure that they're the guys to get it done.
I agree. All right, so we're going to move on to the Leicester. I want to talk about Liverpool and Everton game, or Everton.
Leicester, Liverpool, and Everton game. How's this game?
This is how I'm changing football.
Yeah,
three teams,
multi-ball
games. System, fire.
I like the fire
and strippers.
Oh God.
So Everton play Liverpool, don't they? They're at the Merseyside Derby,
Yeah.
and I've got the big things that gets me hard in football, right?
I'm sorry, I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm getting really uncomfortable.
Right. Sorry. Let me read one of the things that excites me about football.
Why
right?
are you doing it again?
Well,
one of
the things I find
what's it called? Sorry, I need the word.
A euphemism. One of the things I find most interesting about football, right, is the rivalry, the things that exist within the brain, right?
The hatred.
The hatred is one of the things.
Things that trigger you to go, fucking
Well, what's the most amazing things? What are the most interesting things in life? The most interesting thing about life is the ones that make you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel excited. It makes you feel scared. It makes you feel horny.
Yeah.
Those are the most important things in life, right?
Yeah.
And hatred's an important one.
Conflict is theatre.
Yeah, exactly.
All great theatre has element of conflict, be it internal, be it external, be it the I'm trying to think of something that isn't.
What?
It's the good guys and the bad guys,
Yeah.
It's kind of Luke Skywalker against the Emperor and all that kind of
Tottenham, Arsenal.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Huddersfield,
Leeds.
Leeds.
But what's really interesting about the Everton and Liverpool rivalry, and I didn't really realise this until recently because I've been researching it. My perception. What's your perception of that derby? How is it seen generally, stereotypically? It's called the friendly derby, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's the one. Like I remember growing up, and we obviously football was always segregated, and my earliest memories was at Huddersfield's old stadium, and I used to love watching the away end explode when they scored a goal. So like people like Sheffield United, Wolves travelling really well, big support. And
something incredible
about that.
It was
shite when there was about 50 people there. Still fun to watch. But when there were huge amounts of crowd and the atmosphere, I remember Bolton, man, they used to come and this guy climbing up the floodlights, right, and just putting his trousers around his ankles, right, and then the police all coming. He's climbing down, so the police coming to the bottom of the floodlight. He sees them, he climbs back up, they go away, and he just goes on all game. And I remember as a kid watching that. But it was segregated. This is what my answer to your question is.
Yeah.
It was segregated, and I guess that my Liverpool Everton, it wasn't. That was the one game where it was mixed, and they'd sit together.
Yeah.
So they're pals, aren't they? And families that have Liverpool and Everton fans.
So that's
right?
exactly it. The perception is that they are the friendly derby. The Liverpool and Everton are split through family, so a lot of them will share teams. The households will share the teams. So there'll be a brother that supports Liverpool, a sister that supports Everton, or whatever it might be. And because of that, you obviously have to get on with your siblings. Mostly, right? Generally, you'd assume that would be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So they would go to the game, they would sit together, and that's it. And in small pockets, that does happen. But these two teams, and this is what interesting to me, they hate each other. They do.
Oh, they actually hate each other.
Certainly, the Everton certainly hate Liverpool.
So Everton hate. So the hate's from the one that's traditionally the lesser. And just for Everton fans out there, we're not saying that in a bad way, because we love an underdog. I know I do.
Well, there's parallels between Tottenham and Arsenal and Everton and Liverpool, definitely. And I would have a much closer affinity with an Everton fan than I would a Liverpool because of the dynamic between the relationships of those teams.
Just because you're also a loser.
Well, just that we've been lower than Arsenal for a long time. Yeah. But we have more credentials as supporters. So whatever.
So sorry, just to check. So on Monday night they're playing.
Yeah.
Are the crowds segregated or are they mixed?
They've been segregated for many years.
So it's
decades. There was one. There's a famous game.
Craig, look that up somehow.
I don't think you can.
Please, Craig. Have you got a phone? Can you do it?
There's a famous game in 1989 where at Wembley where people sat together. Remember, this was at a time just after Hillsborough, so there was this city
coming
united.
Together,
and there is a mutual respect between the clubs.
With the Justice for '96, Everton fully support that, and it's the city against the Sun.
There is that thing inside Liverpool, Merseyside, this isn't my opinion. This is based on the conversations that I've had with Everton and Liverpool fans in the run up to this podcast and the other bits and pieces.
Who have you spoke to?
I've spoken to Redmen TV, Toffee TV, a couple of other people that aren't in football media, just to get an idea about how it is. And the crux from Everton's perspective, right, and this is something I didn't know, is that they feel a little bit annoyed at Liverpool fans because back when Everton were one of the best teams in Europe, this is during
1980.
So about 84 to 87.
Yeah, so Everton won the
league.
They won the FA Cup in 1984.
Right.
This is one I used to know about football. And I think that is that the year that they won the Cup Winners' Cup against.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but it's
Andy
around.
Gray got like.
Yeah, well, they had Kevin Sheedy.
Yeah, good side.
Some great.
And then
they
lost
players.
to Man U, didn't they, in the '85 Cup final? And then did they play Liverpool in the '86? And they maybe lost to Liverpool in the final. That was at Ian
You're
Rush.
testing my knowledge. I don't know. You could be saying anything.
I remember. What I'm saying is they were a great side at
Absolutely.
that time.
And then Liverpool, the Heysel
then
disaster.
Lineker played for them as well.
That's right. Yeah, and he was then sold to Barcelona, I think, and then Spurs bought him back. Whatever.
Yeah.
But what happened was the Heysel disaster happened. English clubs got.
And that was '85, maybe, was that?
Around that time, yeah. English clubs got kicked out of Europe for a finite amount of time, maybe a few years.
10 years, 20 years or something?
No, less than that.
10 years, I think it was.
Was it? Okay.
Something like, I know it was like mid-90s when they came back in. But
And during that time, Everton feel, as fans, they feel that their club were denied the adulation and the glory of being all-conquering in Europe.
Right.
So that in its own is, you can see where the irritation might come.
They conquer everything in Europe. They conquer the Cup
They could
Winners'
have
Cup.
done. I'm saying they could have done if they were allowed to play in Europe.
Because
of the Heysel disaster.
Yeah, of course. Because '86 they were a good side then.
Exactly. And what they don't like about Liverpool fans is that obviously Liverpool won it 5 times.
Yeah.
And they feel that the Liverpool fans shoved that down their throats. And when Everton were denied that opportunity.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
No, nor had I. And that's a part of that hatred, why they dislike each other.
Wow. Okay.
And then obviously you got the general thing of Everton constantly finishing below Liverpool.
Yeah.
There's an article written by.
There does become that kind of thing as well, like where a team, or you must have it with Tottenham.
Yeah.
Whereby, especially given what happened last season, when you feel like you've got there, because you were like, we're going to win the league, and it was like, oh shit, we're not going to win the league, but at least we're going to finish with Arsenal. Fuck, not again.
Yeah.
Now, and it must get to the stage where there becomes like a limit in belief, like you almost feel like you can't get there, that's impossible.
Yeah.
And I guess for those rivalries where, and you have this, it's all sports really, where there's a dominant team or there's there's that big brother kind of thing. You could have a younger kid who's maybe harder, he might go to the gym more, but that big brother kind of always has that mentality where I can beat him because he's my little brother, and the little brother's like, I'll have a go, but that's my big brother. It's like it gets inbuilt in you.
Yeah, but one day the little brother will spark him out, and that's what I'm saying. That Everton and Tottenham will eventually finish above our rivals. But it's a great article from Sam Maguire on the Anfield Index, and he wrote an article from a Liverpool fan's perspective about how it kind of hit him trying to get his head around the hatred and the real vitriol between some Everton and some Liverpool fans. It has to be said that there are Liverpool and Everton fans that get on fine as well. But one of the things that he said that resonated with me and made me hate Liverpool a little bit more than I do, because I've got, as a football club, not much time for them, because
for Liverpool
just irritate me. Because again I can see the parallels between them and Arsenal. And they said you're
like I'm a neutral.
So this is a comment from the article. Football is stressful and tense, but when the derby day rolls around, it lightens the mood. The overconfidence of Evertonians set themselves up for a fall every single time. Their small club mentality makes it so easy. The DVDs when they finish above us, the printed T-shirts, the whole cheering on Man City goal at Goodison Park when you've still got a chance of finishing in the Champions League positions, to openly admit that a Liverpool loss is better than an Everton win. That's from someone who hasn't had to deal with the abuse and the teasing and the just the arrogance of a club that consistently finishes. There's a reason why a Liverpool loss feels better than an Everton win, because they know
shut them up.
All the people that have dug you out over the years are feeling pain. Then of course that's going to feel better. I would go on record as saying that I feel as good about an Arsenal loss as I do a Spurs win, because I grew up in Holloway where 25 years.
Go on, Flav.
25 years of these pricks. Fucking giving me shit. I went to Highbury Grove School. I don't know what my dad and mum were thinking. Abusive, that was. I think they should have fixed my problem. I went to Highbury Grove School. I was a little white boy with long blonde hair in a tough school. Right? They should have taken me out. Not least because
you out
of school and put me in a safer school. But they didn't. They left me in there and it toughened me up. But what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying here, Matt, is I have grown up around Arsenal fans giving me shit all my life. So when they lose, it feels good, and I will not apologise for that, and nor should any Everton fan. So there you go, that's my feeling.
Wow, that was intense. I fucking hate Liverpool. I hate Arsenal now. I'm converted.
Yeah. I like that in Bull Street, the slowly conversion towards hating Arsenal. You ask James, I've done it to him.
You poisoned James.
Yeah, poisoned James.
You poisoned
or cleansed
James.
him.
We've got a few Arsenal fans here, though, haven't we? It's tough, man.
A lot of Arsenal fans.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
just
look,
one man's opinion.
Like for me, as someone that really is a neutral and just sits there in the lower leagues.
Yeah.
I love those rivalry games, you know. I love being they're always better to watch. I love Everton versus Liverpool. I love Spurs versus Arsenal. You do tend to root for the underdog a little bit because you everyone likes it. It's boring when when Goliath beats 100 Davids, but it's nice that one day where, you know, he throws a rock and, like you said, the little brother sparks him out. So. Yeah, but the rivalry games, because people care so much, because you've had all that, because people like that Anfield Index write articles like that and help build it up, it just creates beautiful theatre.
Yeah.
It creates these amazing games. And that's why, you know, Batman needs the Joker.
Yeah.
You know, God needs the devil. Rangers need Celtic. They need each other because these are the things that define us, and that's what was crazy. You know, I know it's going off point a little bit, but Scottish football, when Rangers and were relegated down to the whatever league it was, and Celtic were kind of actively, obviously, lobbying and trying to get that through, and everyone was kind of taking delight in that. And it's just like, I'm not being funny, but the Scottish Football League, you guys have kind of got to really work as a collective here in a way, because that rivalry was what is watched around the game. Everyone loved Old Firm. I remember being at university, and this is before I knew Stu. This is before I'd been to an Old Firm game, so I wasn't entirely vested in it. But I remember at university, and you obviously used to watch a lot of football at uni. I used to love Bobby Robson's Ronaldo, Barcelona kind of team. But we used to be fucking delighted for the Old Firm games because it was amazing. People would be losing their shit. Yeah. People would be falling off the top tier. You know, players would be getting multiple red cards. You'd have goalkeepers kind of grabbing folk by the throat. It was fucking amazing. Rivalry games are amazing because people lose their shit because there's so much at stake, and because all year people go, don't care what you do as long as you beat them bastards. So rivalry games are awesome, and although I'm sorry but you've had to deal with a lifetime of it, it's kind of worth it because as a neutral I like to watch that.
No, fair enough. Look, it's my personal experience, and there'd be untold reasons what I haven't explained why Liverpool don't kind of hate.
So as you heard on that, Flav knows about rivalry. Flav knows about
if you want.
If you want. After all that, there won't be many people that want to watch it. No, so we did this as a competition the other week, didn't we? And we want to run it one more time before we give it away. We've had quite a few entries on it. How do people enter, Flav?
All they have to do is go to the Long Ball Street YouTube channel.
The full video,
Long Ball Street. Just type it into YouTube and you find it. Just scroll down, it's there. Or find the link in the description below to this video as well.
Or if you're listening on the podcast,
go to the Long Ball Street on YouTube.
I've just said.
Yeah, and you could also there'll probably be a link in the description of the podcast as well. But
Flav designed these himself. He came in one day going, guys, that's not true. Guys, you know that I'm a big deal on talking balls.
That's true. That part too.
Then he basically printed these. Now we've got two of these.
Only one's you sleep in one.
I sleep in one of them every single night. Ty'll be watching it now. It's probably on the line.
Like the Ty, is that?
She's
okay with that.
She's fine with that.
Okay, fine.
She says hi.
Okay. Yeah, I know you said that.
She hates me, by the way.
Oh no, don't worry. You'll work it out.
Hates me right now.
You can't. She's not going anywhere.
But yeah, it's don't know.
Not with.
She might take my daughter.
Jesus. She won't. She won't. Let's move on.
Okay.
Go. All you have to do, go to the comments on the Long Ball Street YouTube channel. Hashtag Flav knows. All right.
And you can win it. Good luck.
Just for the record, this isn't like me bigging up myself. All right. I'm just a bit conscious of people misreading what this is. Okay. All right. Let's cover the boxing.
Yes.
Joshua.
So in fact, was it not pod questions? And that
do you want to do that first?
And that led us into the boxing.
All right, okay, let's do that.
All right.
The pod questions.
Hashtag pod question. What? Oh.
Give me these.
All right, sorry.
So first thing I just wanted to say, Nyla Cage listens to the show every week. Just listen to the Fighting Cock, big Spurs fan.
Nice.
I'm probably not allowed to win 2 Flav affiliated podcast t-shirt competitions a week, but I want that shirt, this one, in her life.
That's strong.
She won another competition on the other pod.
What did she win?
An art of football t-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's just a nice thing to say.
Yeah, it's a lovely thing to say.
I enjoy.
So she's a fan.
She's a big fan, I think, of me and mostly of James, really. So I think she's got a thing for James.
Yeah, how can you not?
I mean, I fancy him.
She's only human.
She is. But the difference between myself and Nyla is I can have James whenever I want.
And she's just got to wait for you decide.
Just imagine what that might be like.
Yeah.
Not a bit of a letdown.
But that's not a pod question, is it?
No, I
That's
just wanted to say it.
You just wanted to tell people that you get complimented.
All right, and this is kind of reference back to the other thing. Garrett, he says, can you rank the teams that you hate most on the next podcast? A little commentary about what you'd expect fans of other clubs to say, but not like Man United and Liverpool fans hate each other, some more unexpected things. So like Flav, I know you hate Arsenal and Chelsea, but do you hate other non-Spurs London teams? Do you dislike Man United or Liverpool or West Ham and Palace?
It's a long question.
Yeah, well, he's basically saying, who do you hate outside of it? Is there have you got any weird reasons why you hate certain football clubs?
God, okay, I wish I'd prepared this. Let me think. Who do I hate?
I hate. While you're thinking,
go on.
I've got an issue with Liverpool because they're the exact same thing as Arsenal from the north, which I've gone over.
Yeah.
I dislike West Ham, but that's an obvious reason. I never liked Charlton.
How can you not like Charlton?
I know. I'm kind of glad that they're going through what they're going
Charlton
through.
are the most inoffensive, nice family club. Always tried to play football the right way.
That's what I fucking hate. So bloody nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't get on anybody's nerves. They just plod along.
Yeah.
Have some fucking spite. But actually, that said, any kind of their firm members that hear any of that, just don't take it to the lengths of coming and
They don't have a firm.
Don't prove that isn't the case as well, either. Like, basically, both of us want to get out of this podcast alive. You got anything?
Oh my God, who do I hate?
You don't hate anyone, so you're a nice
guy. Do you know what? No, I hate...
Leave with your hatred for James.
I think that my... I know.
I know.
I know. But I actually love him. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
I think that as most Huddersfield fans would say, hate Leeds United, we only hate Leeds United.
Yeah.
Hate Leeds United, we only hate Leeds United.
I hate Leeds as well.
Yeah, everyone hates Leeds.
Yeah. Dirty Leeds.
But I also hate Bradford. And I kind of hate Bradford more because Bradford they've never been shit. They've never won shit. They've never been shit. They're the bantams. Now, for crying out loud, right?
They're little chickens. They're shit chickens.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, how are you even... and they try and talk down to us because they was in the Premier League for like 2 fucking years.
You're shit chickens.
You're shit. You're just a shit chicken. The kit... Do you know what the kit colours are?
Yeah, they're burgundy and orange or something.
Amber and burgundy.
Right.
What the fuck kind of colours are they?
Shit.
Amber and burgundy, shit chickens, never won anything, no history really to speak of, and they try and talk down to us. We won the league 3 times in a row. We won the FA Cup, and now we're going up. We are the town, oh yes, we are the town. No, the days, my friend, I thought they never end. We won the league 3 times in a row. We won the... okay,
Did you ask if you're one?
What's that?
I only ever met 2 Yorkshiremen that I've liked.
And who are they?
You're one.
Okay.
And my mate Tim.
Oh, who's Tim's support?
All the others I found quite aggressive.
We sound aggressive. But we're not. We're actually very nice, soft, humble people. But yeah, so
very passionate about coming from Yorkshire. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like that. When I've been to gigs in Yorkshire, the chant of Yorkshire goes up. Is always odd to me. It's like I've never heard in London people going London. What? Why?
Yeah, we're just practice. We call it God's country.
Yeah, that's a bit arrogant.
It is, but it's a
great name though. That is a great name.
It is
if
God's country.
Something you want to talk about.
Although I do like
God's
the
country.
Garden of England for Kent. That's quite cool. The Garden of England.
Yeah,
are there any others? Like what? Don't like Lancashire.
You know, I'm not a big
fan.
Well,
I do, but it's.
Why'd you just call
it's
this?
Just we have the
toilet?
War of the Roses.
Of course you did.
I don't even know who won. I think they might have won, but anyway.
Got another question.
Go on.
Daniel Sims.
Pod questions.
Sorry, hashtag pod questions. So send in your pod questions to us. We'll answer them in the pod next week. It'll be a little feature of the show. People like asking questions.
Yeah.
On last week's pod, you discussed the possibilities of McGregor versus Mayweather dream match. You've got some ideas about that, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
So my series of questions is, and we'll do quick answers here, all right? Let's not discuss it too far.
Okay.
Is all about the long-awaited dream match between Flat Flav and Matt. So people want us to fight each other.
What?
Yeah, apparently that's something that I mean, I'm doing it, but I'm only doing it naked. So that'll put you off. And I'll be buttered. So the first question...
What, so I slip all over you?
Yeah, you won't be able to get any purchase.
Yeah.
So which discipline would you fight in? MMA, boxing, sumo, or who knows?
Ooh, well, I think sumo would be...
We'll be shit at sumo.
We'd be shit at sumo. It would be quite funny to watch, though, because we'd both be in Y-fronts.
Slipping all over each other.
That would be a great spectator sport, I'm sure.
I think my erection might freak you out.
Flav.
And I will win that way. It's the only way I can win.
Come on.
Right, and so is it MMA? It's MMA, isn't it? 'Cause that's what you like.
I'd prefer to fight as MMA.
Yeah.
If we had to fight.
I'm not going to win any kind of fight. So, all right, MMA is fine. So would it be an arena, a stadium, or a strip club? It'd have to be a strip club.
Great question.
We're not going to fill a stadium, are we?
Do you know what? Because I'd be I'm not really a fan of strip clubs.
No.
Like, I'm not. I have been in them, but I'm not a fan of them.
Nor am I.
That's a lie. I would have to say it'd have to be the strip club car park. Parking lot of a strip club.
Put plastic down.
Yeah. It's like Fight Club.
All right. What would your entrance music be?
Great.
You got one. Mine would be "Bring the Ruckus" by Wu-Tang Clan.
Bring the ruckus.
Bring your motherfucking ruckus. It might not be naked.
Do you know what? I can't remember now if it was UFC or if it was boxing I was watching. But somebody came out to a fight at the weekend, and initially it was the Jaws music, which I quite liked.
Nice.
That sounded good.
Tyson used to come out with no music at all. That is fucking gully.
Yeah, that is. Tyson. But the whole thing about Tyson, the black shorts, the hostility, the way that, it was always like literally down to brass tacks. I'm gonna fucking knock you out, mate.
That's it. It's fuck all the shit. Fuck the gimmicks. I'm coming in here and I'm gonna destroy you. That is terrifying.
Yeah,
it would terrify me.
And that's what he used to do. He used to build up that image because what was the guy called that used to train him like from 15 to, is it D'Amato? What's it called?
What's his first name? I know this shit. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Custom
or something like that. Anyway, so he helped build that whole Tyson image, and what he used to say was, they're going to be beaten before they get in the ring with you, which they were. Yeah. Like there have been a lot of them with Conor.
And Mayweather
beats them. Yeah. So they're beaten before they get in there. But I want to change it from Jaws actually to something I said a minute ago, which is LL Cool J. I'm going to knock you out. Right. That would be good because I would knock you out.
Not intimidating now, though. Not intimidated by that at all. But who would win?
I think it'd be a draw.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
There we go.
Man, you didn't have to mug me off. You could have mugged me off.
No, we'd have been a draw.
Anyway, let's
we
move
would
on.
never fight.
Let's do Mayweather. We would never fight. Mayweather, although, I mean, you have attacked me a couple of times in the office. Mayweather or McGregor? No, sorry, that isn't the question. The question is...
is this a pod question?
No, we're just moving on.
But did someone ask a hashtag pod question? I thought they did on Mayweather, Conor, you said.
It was that was
it. Oh,
it.
That's it,
yeah,
right,
okay. Mayweather. But anyway...
Fine.
So I said that I wasn't convinced it was a good idea. I think in a boxing ring, Mayweather about McGregor, and in an MMA ring, it would tap him out in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So what you said, you come up with some sort of middle ground here that may placate me.
Yes.
Go on.
So this is the solution for the fight. So Conor, Floyd. I know you both watch. You're both big fans of the show, and I'm actually trying to set up a call with Conor McGregor. Kid you not.
Are you really?
Work on that. Yeah. This is coming on the podcast.
For this,
mate. Just hold that anyway. Like, let's not worry about that. That'll happen. You just got subscribe.
I'm working on something
Stay
for you.
tuned.
I'm working on something for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy Booth.
What?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Who would you rather speak to? It is real. I'm working on it. McGregor or Andy Booth? Who would you rather talk to?
Well, I think Andy Booth's my...
is it him?
Andy Booth. I fucking love Andy Booth.
Wait, all right, let's hold that. Pause it. Pause that for. Carry on.
So, what were we saying? Conor McGregor. So the good thing is we chatted about this on a podcast, a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah.
Got a lot of comments.
Yeah.
People were... some guy was going a little bit angry at me for suggesting that this wouldn't just be an absolute cakewalk for Floyd.
I'm not angry, but I agree. Of course it would.
In a boxing ring, you've got to fancy Floyd because Floyd is an undefeated as a boxer. He's beaten the best of the best, admittedly.
No one's got near him, really.
He ducked Manny Pacquiao for 10 years, as far as I'm concerned.
People are going to come and kill you. Now,
I don't
sensitive
care.
an issue.
He did. Of course he fucking did. This is my issue with Floyd, right? Is that Floyd Mayweather, we all wanted that fight, and this is my issue with boxing full stop, is that the political, the split of belts and organisations means that it's political rather than the best having to fight the best. So I think that the public
100%.
are shortchanged time and time again with boxing. That's the kind of the good thing about the UFC, in that the best fighters tend to fight.
Yeah.
When someone enters the UFC from another organisation, they tend to get a tough fight. People like Carlos Condit that's come in, people like Shogun Rua, lots of people, when they've come into the UFC, they've come in and rather than people like Mirko Krokop, they haven't been handed a can like you get in boxing. They're handed a fight, and they have to fight their way in.
All I would say to that, I know you're in a minute.
There's more to come,
of
but
course.
go on.
UFC it is still quite young in its sport, and it hasn't been corrupted. But the minute multiple organisations, if UFC has ever split, then all the politics would be horrendous.
Well, carry on. There's a different whole story and thing about that with fighters' unions, with Dana White as a president of an organisation that's been going for a period of time, but is now entering a new phase of life, and whether he's, in my opinion, the right guy to be in charge of that type of a business and company, because it's like the NFL now. It's like it's a different organisation to what it was. He ran it. In fact, we won't get into it now, but there's a whole conversation about that stuff. So you're right, and it's interesting. I think that they're going to have some growing pains for this next phase.
So where was you? I interrupted you.
Yeah, we're talking about McGregor and Floyd, right? So people spoke about this, but so obviously Floyd's undefeated in boxing. He's amazing. He's very good at not getting hit. So to sit here and say that a guy, Conor McGregor, who's not just been training boxing, does train it, but not just been training boxing, but has been training all these other disciplines, and as well as the other disciplines, because in MMA it's not just we're boxing, oh now we're grappling, oh now I'm in a submission hold. It's not that. There's the gaps between these disciplines. So MMA wrestling is difficult to wrestling. MMA striking is different to boxing, right? So, but what Conor's been doing, Floyd for all his life has been practicing this particular art. Conor has been working on everything to do with fighting. So to ask Conor, who's been spending all his time on all these other things, to go in and fight in boxing rules,
it's unfair,
right? You'd be mad to say that Conor's going to win. Still could, because Conor McGregor's a fucking enigma, and who knows what Conor can and can't do. I'm not going to say, but the best bet has got to be Mayweather.
Absolutely.
If it's in a boxing ring in boxing rules,
right?
If it's in an MMA octagon, right, and it's MMA rules, Conor wins easier than Floyd wins in boxing, right?
Fine.
First of all, now, so how could these two actually fight? Because the thing that makes things happen in this world is what?
Money.
Exactly. So money's not necessarily the root of everything. Money
gets stuff done.
It gets stuff done. So there's enough money to be made on what would be the biggest pay-per-view. It'd be the biggest sporting event in the world ever, bar none, for the simple fact that Conor McGregor is now the biggest name in fucking sport right now.
Absolutely.
So how do you create a fucking level playing field? This is what I think the answer is.
Right.
The answer is you fight in a boxing ring, you fight with boxing rules, but you wear MMA gloves. You look disappointed.
No. I'm not disappointed.
Let me tell you why. Boxing gloves, right?
He'd break his hands, wouldn't he?
Well, no, because fucking MMA fighters hit each other all the time and knock people out. And then knock people out with MMA gloves on.
Well, so a boxing match with MMA gloves, that's it?
Yeah. So, and this is like simple, right? Because boxing gloves are like 12 ounces or something like that. And you watch Chisora versus Sting at the weekend.
Yeah.
People can take lots and lots of blows before they get knocked out.
Absolutely.
However, in MMA, if you get hit clean, then pretty much you're out, you're unable to defend yourself, and it stops. So
I see what you're saying.
Why don't you put that? Because Conor can fucking hit, right? And if he lands one, it's different for Floyd getting hit. Do you see what I'm saying?
I get it, right? I get it, right? Because if you're boxing with gloves, a Mayweather would be able to probably take multiple blows from McGregor, especially if they're scuffs and cuffed and
and they're
whatnot.
glancing him, rolling him off the
But
shoulders.
would he be able to take 1 or 2 off of mitts? Conversely,
off a 4 ounce, is it 4 or 6? I forget.
don't know.
But off a lighter MMA glove.
Gloves, yeah.
Because the impact is that the cushion in a boxing glove means that the blow's not as much.
Mayweather would even consider
exactly, but that is the answer. So I need to tell Conor this.
Go and tell him.
Because Conor can make this happen.
Phone call that you're going to have. Could you tell him then? I think he would fucking fight him regardless. He'd fight him in a bear pit.
Of course he would.
I would say. I think
as long as there's fucking money involved.
I thought that you could have like a baby and a baby grow on each other's back, and that would.
Or they could kind of have a girl standing on their shoulders, and they could be in a swimming pool in Tenerife or something like that, or Ibiza.
Yes.
Choose your destination. No, but seriously though, that I think would be the best way to do it. So you have it's in a boxing ring. It's boxing rules, so Conor can't kick, Conor can't grapple, Conor can't do anything that Floyd doesn't know how to do. However, the gloves are light, so that if he gets hit, he gets hurt. He just makes it different.
So go on, concisely predict. What happens?
First round knockout, Conor McGregor.
I think what happens.
Go on. What do you think?
Is that I still think Conor McGregor's face turns to mush. I think it'd be so dangerous.
I think it'd be so interesting to fucking watch. Because again, right, so
Conor's stance,
right? Conor's stance.
Someone gets seriously fucking hurt. Whether Mayweather.
What, they can't get seriously hurt in boxing? They can't get seriously hurt in MMA? What are you talking about? It's not different.
Yeah, you're right, it's no different.
They're two men, right, that are trained to fight, that are trained to... Exactly, that's the solution.
Maybe the way to do it.
Let us know in the comments below if you think that that's the solution.
Who would win?
Or if we're talking crazy. Now, I know there's some of you that have got a real... issue with...
Well, you've got boxing heads and you've got MMA heads.
Yeah.
And they kind of... The issue with that, the problem with you being principled around boxing or principled around MMA, but principled around boxing especially, is boxing is the most corrupt nonsense of a sport, and my favourite sport to watch.
Yeah.
So I can look at it and say the whole thing's a bloody mess.
Yeah.
So don't be principled about the fact that these two can't fight each other.
Yeah, and also don't be like, come on, people. Like, just realise that it's all right for me to have a different opinion to you. It's all right for Flav to... It's all right for people to have different opinions about stuff. You know what I mean?
Opinions aren't racist.
Yeah, let's present them in an all right way. But it's a fun subject matter. It really is. Boxing versus UFC. I grew up loving boxing. You know, I've always been a fan of boxing. As a kid, I used to love the big fights. I remember all the Eubank Ben ones, the Eubank Collins, Bruno, Tyson, Lennox,
Nazim Hamed.
Mate, Nazim Hamed, yeah.
Any more boxers? Joshua Molina.
Well, we're coming on to that.
How long have we been running?
Hour and 10.
Okay, we're good.
Cool. But I love boxing and I love UFC, and I've been watching UFC since day dot. So yeah, I'm sitting here looking at both and loving both, but just thinking that elements of boxing could be. There's certain things where boxing shoots itself in the foot a little bit, unfortunately.
Massively. And MMA shoots itself in the foot because it's boring.
MMA, it's not though, is it?
Well, difference of opinion.
We should actually. What should happen one time is you should come out. We should watch some stuff because I think
explain it to me.
Yeah, I think it helps with that. I've done that with a couple of people and they start to get it.
Coming? That's less likely to happen.
I don't know.
Where do you live? Where do you live far away now?
I'm not saying that.
Is it outside of London? No. Inside. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm down.
Southwest London.
Southwest, alright, it's quite far from me, but we'll sort it out. Yeah, come on, Joshua Molina, what do you think of that farce?
It's a very interesting one. Josh, as he's called. So I watched this fight with that whole card actually with someone that an amateur boxer. I forget his fucking name.
You mentioned. He said he trained with Chisora. I think it might be Ian Williamson.
I don't know what he's called. I was in my mate's man cave in Harlesden, and a guy was there, and he had some really interesting. And actually, before the fight, I was like, Dylan White's going to beat Chisora. That's how I saw it. And he was like, no, train with Chisora. Chisora's actually all that madness, a little bit of a. To build the fight, to hype the fight. Cool guy, very fit. He's just like, it's like they're doing track things when they're out running. He's like, he's beating the flyweights and the lightweights and the whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so he's actually
he's a fit man.
Yeah.
He looks like
like he shouldn't be.
But he is.
So he called it, and he was like, "My boy's gonna win," kind of thing. And he's an amateur boxer and knows his stuff. So it was really interesting watching the fight with him. Actually.
Yeah. So I've got.
But that was the fight, and the Katie Taylor's fight. The Anthony Joshua fight. It's just like, oh come on, man! Like why? They're just printing money, aren't they? They're just going, yeah. Oh, we got another fight coming up.
Yeah.
Yo, this is a test, and he's literally fighting some guy that they've got off the couch that doesn't want to get hit. I mean, I don't know. Like, I love Joshua. He looks the part. He's English. He's a gold medal fighter. He seems fucking cool. I follow him on Snapchat. He's cool. I like him. But
what you said upstairs when we was discussing it the other day. This smacks of Bruno all over.
Mate.
Muscle bound,
he's
rips the shit.
Stiff.
Punches for fun. I think Bruno's first 21 fights he won in the first two rounds.
Punch, big right hand. No one's gonna like getting hit by him, but he looks stiff. Yeah. Like my mate Junior and this guy as well, whatever he's called, saying the same thing. He looks like a big target. There's not, the head movement's so important in fighting. The slipping, the jabs. No one's trying to hit him really at the moment, are they? Dylan White tried a bit and actually rocked him, but to me, there's a little bit of the Bruno about him. And we don't know if Joshua can take a shot and take successive shots.
Not a lot of big heavyweights can take shots.
No, well, fucking not off heavyweights. I mean, crying out loud, everyone can hit hard. Yeah. But you was Dylan White, Chisora landed some solid shots on Dylan White, and he took them shots. So I don't know if when they're protecting Joshua. They're protecting him because they want to make more money, and every time they have a fight, they must go and cha-ching. Sponsors are happy. The people are buying the pay-per-view. People are buying the tickets like hotcakes. They're selling out arenas. So it must be beautiful to be able to go, right, yeah, we're going to fight 2 more fights and fight cans and cha-ching, cha-ching, watching the fucking paper stack up. Must be beautiful. However, this is what boxing does. It keeps them away from fighting the people that we want to see him fight. And do you know what? Do you know why I want to see him fight?
Hey.
David Haye. Do you know who beats Anthony Joshua? David Haye. Because David Haye can punch and he can slip, he can move, and I just think
it'd be fascinating. I'd be more interested in that fight than Klitschko.
Exactly.
Do you know what? One thing that pissed me off. 2 things. No, one thing that pissed me off actually, and the other thing something separate is Hearn announcing Vladimir Klitschko in the ring after Molina was gone on the same pay-per-view show. It's like they knew he was going to smash Molina, right? Of course. And they'd already set up Klitschko, and yet they still had the front to make that a pay-per-view event. I mean, I get that there was some good fights on there, but that wasn't a pay-per-view card in my opinion. The other thing is, I think
boxing is a little bit kind of cringe at times in the way that they try, and some of it seems to. I mean, to be honest with you, the David Haye fights that I've been watching on 5. What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that Mexican.
Haye isn't the best promoter. His shows are horrendous.
Yeah, that older thing we watched the guy there. You got it, champ.
Oh well, let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Shannon the Cannon Briggs.
Some of them bits were a bit cringe. Well, interesting, but
that isn't anything to do with Haye, though. To be fair, that's
but he was on the same card as him a couple ago, and it looked completely set up. So Haye wins, and then all of a sudden it comes out. I'm sorry, but that stunk of.
Yeah. I mean, it all does. It all does. The other thing is that Chisora throwing a table.
Yeah.
So the rumor and Hearn, this was put on Hearn on an interview for iFilm London. Apparently Hearn paid Chisora's purse. Paid his fine to the British Board of Control, which is an issue because when a promoter's paying it means you're not responsible for your own actions.
Yeah. There you go. I wonder if, because obviously Conor's great at selling fights, he's amazing, and he's been selling them before. So the UFC's trendy now. There'll be a lot of people that will watch this, that will listen to this, that have only really been aware of the UFC since Conor was a thing. Probably since.
Same me. That's me.
Yeah, exactly. But he's been great at selling fights the whole time. Like Ali, the beautiful thing about Ali, the beautiful thing about Conor. Not only does he do it, not only does he do this amazing thing, but he says he's going to do it.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Anyone that does what he's done, fucking awesome. 2 belts here, 2 belts there, beating the fucking champion that hasn't lost for 10 years, knocking him out in 13 seconds. That's awesome. But if you actually say you're going to do it and say the punch you're going to do it, that makes it even more spellbinding.
Yeah.
So Conor has been great at selling fights, but before the second fight with Diaz, there was the bottle throwing, the water bottle throwing.
Yeah.
I wonder, that's Ty calling now.
So you want to take it now?
Should I take it?
Not while we're recording. She'll be really angry at you.
Yeah, she will. She hates me.
Yeah.
In fact, I can't resist it.
No.
Okay. Ty.
Hi.
Hiya. We're just on the podcast now.
Oh, I'm having a few twinges.
Oh shit. Okay, so this what? As in, right? I'll call you back in 10 minutes. What? As in contractions?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shut up.
All right, let's.
Oh shit. All right, cool.
All right then. So this has been the podcast. Go.
That's the end.
Sorry.
All right.
Bye, Ty.
I'll
Good
luck.
luck.
Touch a sec. Bye bye. What?
What? I'll wrap up. How about you?
I'm not ready for this.
You are. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Oh my god. Right. Okay. I was just thinking she was gonna that'd have been funny and we could have had a chat but I didn't expect. Oh yeah.
The birth of your
probably
firstborn.
having a fucking baby. That's nuts.
Why still? Do you get your bag and?
Yeah, I will. I just need to fucking breathe for a minute. Like labour, it's not like what I've learned. Labour's not like the hospital where you have a fucking thing and all of a sudden I'm sweating. We're both all sweating, but it's not. It lasts like 24 hours.
Right,
so this
let's relax.
This is a period of time. Yeah, we can breathe.
Okay.
Is this still recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got ages left then.
So I'm going to stall it and just be here all day. Let's do a 24-hour live show. The pod just didn't finish because I'm scared.
Wow.
I'm scared.
Don't be
very
scared.
real. Very
Don't be
real.
scared.
This is how real we are, Bullshit. There's no facade.
Yeah.
There's no pretend thing. There's no veneer. What you see is real. What we talk about is real. What our opinions are is real. Everything that we're doing is real. And
you're about to.
my fear is real.
It's natural to be fearful.
Well, did we just finish this though? Because the Annie Joshua. So we think Joshua loses to Hay.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see that fight.
Yeah.
Love to see that fight.
Yeah.
Don't know what to say to
Let's
that.
just wrap up.
Apart from we'll see you all at the far post.
Yeah, we'll see you at the far post. Before you do, Matt's gonna, we'll see Matt at the far post for sure, and we'll all be there at the far post with you.
Man, imagine if I said to Ty, not this week. Got a lot of shit to do this week. Please next week.
Time waits for no man.
Fuck me, imagine this.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Well, look,
sweating
best
like
of luck.
crazy.
See
you at the far post.
See you at the far post, mate. Go and get it. Go and get him. Go
Subscribe.
And get him. Yeah. I was gonna do this bit. I can't remember what I have to say. All right. That's it. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Come on.